Have you ever contemplated the notion of generational sin as presented in the Bible? A particularly intriguing passage from the book of Isaiah 65:5-7 sparks a heated debate on this very subject. It reads, "Behold, it is written before me, I will not keep silent, but I will repay. I will indeed repay into their lap both your iniquities and your father's iniquities together, says the Lord." This raises the question, how can God attribute the sins of the ancestors to their descendants? Is it not a principle in the Bible that each person is accountable for their actions? The proponents of the sins of the father visited upon the children viewpoint cite two key biblical passages. The first is from Jeremiah 32:18, which states, "You show steadfast love to thousands, but repay the guilt of fathers to their children after them, O great and mighty God." The second is from Exodus chapter 20, where God identifies himself as a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children to the third and the fourth generation of those who hate me. On the other hand, those opposed to this notion argue based on passages such as Jeremiah 17:10, where the Lord declares, "I the Lord search the heart and test the mind, to give every man according to his ways," and Ezekiel 18 verses 2 and 3, which challenge the saying, "The fathers have eaten sour grapes and the children's teeth are set on edge." What can be made of these conflicting perspectives, all attributed to the Lord? The key to understanding the Bible lies not in isolating verses, but in considering the overall historical context to avoid cherry-picking verses out of context. An examination of the history of Israel reveals that it is not so much that descendants are punished for their ancestors' sins, but rather certain sins tend to perpetuate through generations, often escalating in severity. For instance, Jeremiah 16:12 notes, "You have behaved worse than your fathers, for behold, every one of you follows his stubborn evil will, refusing to listen to me." Moreover, some suffering is directly derived from the actions of parents. For instance, if parents abuse drugs, their child may suffer congenital defects, enduring a lifetime of hardship. It would be misguided to attribute this to God punishing the child. Rather, it is the parents who have harmed the child. In conclusion, the debate rests on a universally accepted New Testament verse from Romans 2:5-6. "But because of your hard and impenitent heart, you are storing up wrath for yourself on the day of wrath, when God's righteous judgment will be revealed. He will render to each one according to his works." This verse reiterates the principle of individual accountability for one's own actions and the divine justice of God's judgment.